Alright, now let's talk about horizontal rescaling, exponential and log functions. So, again, as usual, start off with our graph of 3 to the x. That looks like this. Now what if we do something like y equals 3 to the 2x? So that means, well, we'll think about when we plug in 0, it's going to be the same idea. So 0, it's going to still cross this point. But now, whatever was at the point x equals 2, let's say 1, 2 right here. This point, x equals 2, is now going to x equals 1. Because when you plug in 1 for x, it gets multiplied by 2. So it goes to this point. So whatever was at this point now shifts to x equals 1. And then like whatever was at this point now shifts to x equals -1. So it's going like this. So you can think of that as when you've got a big number here, it's kind of like you're compressing the graph horizontally. I know that's kind of opposite from what it was originally initially with the vertical. When we had big numbers, we're stretching it. Now horizontally, when we have big numbers up here, we are compressing it. What about something like y equals 3 to the ½ x? Well, now when we plug in x equals, say we plug in x equals 2 here, then we get the result that was when x equals 1. So the point when x equals 1 here is now moving to x equals 2. And the point when x equals 1 here is now moving to x equals 2. So now it's like, instead of compressing it, now we're stretching it. So it's a vertical and horizontal rescalings are kind of opposite of each other. Vertical, when you've got a big number, you end up stretching, but here, horizontal, you end up compressing. Let's do the same thing for log. So y equals log 3 of x. Let's plot that here. So that looks something like this. When we do y equals log 3 of 2x, now when we plug in 1 for x, we actually get the y value that was originally at the point y is 2. So, or at the point x is 2. So let's find our point x is 2. Now this ends up going here, and we end up crossing at a half instead. So we're going to have something like this. Again, it's kind of like we're compressing it towards the y-axis. Now, when we do y equals log 3 of 1/2 x, it's kind of like we're stretching it away from the y-axis. So now it's crossing here at x equals 2 and going like this. So yeah, vertical and horizontal rescalings, just think about stretching and compressing when you've got bigger numbers, and then opposite when you've got smaller numbers.